All right, let's work on one more word problem. So this is still packet 12, page 19, number 3. Again, I'm going to remind you, when you're solving a problem where the variable is stuck in the exponent and the bases cannot be made the same easily, we introduce a log on both sides. The log unlocks the exponent. The exponent can run in front, and then we can solve for t by dividing by the number attached to the variable. All right, so this one I marked up already. All right, so after an oven is turned on, its temperature T is represented by the equation, and they give you the equation. It looks a little scary, where M represents the number of minutes, so I just circled that, that's important. M in that formula is the number of minutes that the oven's turned on, after the oven is turned on, and T represents the temperature, so that's important, of the oven, in degrees Fahrenheit. How many minutes does it take for the oven's temperature to reach a minimum of 300 degrees Fahrenheit? All right, so let me write this formula. It's a little hard to see. T equals 400 minus 350 times 3.2 raised to the negative 0.1 m. All right, so that's the formula. All right, the only additional piece of information they give you here is that the minimum temperature is going to be 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So although this formula is a little scary, there are only two variables here. There is an M, which is minutes, and a T, which is temperature. So they tell me that the oven's going to be 300 degrees. So I'm going to put a T, 300 in the T spot. All right, so right away, I know that I'm going to be solving for a variable that's stuck in an exponent. So I need the key to open this up, and the key is the log. But before I use the word log on both sides, or the operation log, I need the base to be isolated, and that's super important. I need the base to be completely by itself before I solve using a logarithm. All right, so now, some people look at this and then go, oh, 400 minus 350. You cannot combine these because the negative 350 is attached to the base by multiplication, which means that these two terms are unlike. So I have to start actually by subtracting the 400 to the other side, because these two terms can't come together, because this number is attached to this number. So I am going to subtract the 400 first. All right. So I get negative 100 is equal to negative 350, 3.2 raised to the negative 0.1 m. Okay, still, the base, this is the base, is not by itself. This number has to get moved off. It's connected by multiplication, so we do the opposite, which is division. All right, so we have negative 100 divided by negative 350. And we get 0.2857 1.42857. And you could change that into a decimal, a fraction if you're more comfortable with that. This is the decimal that you get on your screen though. Okay. All right, so now I have my base completely isolated. The variable is on the 3.2 and there's nothing else around it. It's all by itself. So now I can use the logarithm to open up the exponent. So I'm going to write the word log. Now, since there is no e in this, it's pointless to use ln. I mean, I can if I want, but I might as well just stick with a log base 10. Okay, so as soon as I write the word log on both sides, I've unlocked the exponent. So now the exponent can jump out in front. So now I have log of this crazy number equals negative 0.1 m log 3.2. All right, so I want m by itself. Remember this. This looks super scary, but if you notice, the negative 0.1 is connected to the m by multiplication. So I'm going to divide that off. And the log 3.2 is connected to the m by multiplication. So that needs to be divided off. So I can divide them both off at the same time. I'm going to divide off negative 0.1 and log 3.2 at the same time. So on the right side, I just have an m left over, which is what I want. So all right, so now, although this looks super scary, this is just a numerical value. I could type this into my calculator because there is no variable on this side. So I'm going to go to my calculator and I'm going to type it in exactly how I see it. I'm going to press alpha y equals. I'm going to make a fraction. I'm going to write log of 0.2857142857, close the parenthesis, over negative 0.1 log 3.2. So I get m to be 10.7704. Okay, now let's check what they wanted me to round to. So the question asks me, how many minutes does it take for the oven's temperature to reach a minimum of 300 degrees Fahrenheit? So it's going to take me 11 minutes for the oven to reach a minimum of 300 degrees Fahrenheit.